Okay, let's dive right in. If you're a landlord, a truly monumental change is coming down the track. It's the Renters' Rights Act 2025, and it's going to completely reshape the private rental sector. So if you're a landlord, you absolutely need to understand what's on the way.
Hi everyone and welcome. We've put this explainer together for you on behalf of the fantastic team at Trinity Sales and Lettings. Think of them as the experts in your corner, ready to guide you through every twist and turn of these new regulations. Now before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, this right here is the core message for today. Yes, the changes are massive, there's no doubt about it. But with the right information and the right guidance, there is absolutely no need to panic. We're going to break it all down for you step by step. So what's our game plan? First, we'll look at the timeline for this major shift. Then, we'll tackle the biggest headline of them all, the end of Section 21 evictions. From there, we'll dig into the new day-to-day rules for tenancies, cover your new duties as a landlord, and finally, look at how Trinity can be your partner through all of this.
Okay, let's kick things off with the when. This is super important to understand. While the Act is officially law, its biggest changes are not happening overnight. The government is rolling this out in stages.
So, the ink was barely dry in October 2025 when it became law, and by December, local councils were already given new powers to investigate. But the main event, that new tenancy system we're all talking about? Well, we're not expecting that to fully kick in until the second quarter of 2026.
And listen, this is a point I really need to hammer home. This isn't just for any new tenancies you sign. Nope. When this new system launches, every single private tenancy, including all your existing ones, is going to automatically convert. It affects everyone, no exceptions.
Right, let's move on to the single biggest change in this whole legislation. It's the one you've probably heard about, the abolition of the Section 21 no-fault eviction. This changes everything about the foundation of tenancies in England.
This really is a tale of before and after. We are leaving behind the old world of fixed-term contracts and Section 21 notices. The future is all about periodic or rolling contracts. So what does that mean? It means a tenancy just keeps going month after month until you have a specific, legally defined reason, what we call a ground, to end it using a new and improved Section 8 notice.
So, if Section 21 is gone, what's in your new toolkit? Well, these are the key mandatory grounds for possession. And mandatory is the magic word here. It means if you can prove one of these, a court must give you possession. For instance, you can still get your property back to sell it, or if you or your family need to move in, but you'll have to give 4 months' notice. And for something serious like 3 months of rent arrears, the process is much quicker, just a 4-week notice.
Now, it's also really important to know about so-called discretionary grounds for things like tenants who are persistently late with rent. The crucial difference here is that a judge gets the final say on whether to grant possession or not. And that, of course, adds a whole new layer of uncertainty for landlords.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about ending tenancies, now let's talk about managing them day to day. The Act is bringing in a bunch of new rules that are going to change how you interact with your tenants.
First up, let's talk rent increases. The process is changing, and it starts with the notice period. The minimum time you have to give a tenant before an increase is now doubling, from 1 month to 2. And there's a bit more to it than just the notice. You'll now only be able to increase the rent once a year. Your tenants will also get the right to challenge any increase at a tribunal if they think it's unfair. And this is a big one. The practice of so-called bidding wars, where tenants offer over the asking price, that's now banned.
Next on the list, pets. If a tenant puts in a written request to keep a pet in your property, a clock starts ticking. You now have a strict deadline. You must give them a response, in writing, within 28 days.
But here's where it gets a little bit fuzzy, right? The law says you can't unreasonably refuse a pet. So what on earth does unreasonable actually mean? Right now, this is a bit of a legal gray area, and it's exactly where getting professional advice is going to be vital to stay out of trouble. And that brings us nicely to the new world of compliance. The Act is creating a lot more formal duties and a much stricter enforcement landscape for every single landlord.
So, get your checklist ready because there are 3 new mandatory steps for everyone, even if you use a letting agent. First, you've got to make sure your property meets the Decent Homes Standard. Second, you have to register yourself and your property on a new national database. And third, you must join a new landlord ombudsman scheme, which is there to help sort out disputes before they get to court.
And here's why you really want to get all this right. The financial penalties for slipping up are serious. Local councils can hit you with a fine of up to £7,000 for a first offense.
and that can jump to a staggering £40,000 if it happens again.
Now I know. This is a lot to take in. It's complicated. The stakes are high, and it can feel a little overwhelming. But that is exactly why we put this explainer together, to show you that there is a clear path forward.
So let's circle right back to our original message. Don't panic. You do not have to try and figure all of this out by yourself. The team at Trinity is here, and they are ready to help you navigate every single one of these changes. And when you reach out, you're not talking to a call center. You're talking to a real team of experts. Dominic, Lucy, Holly, and Matthew, they are on it, tracking every detail to make sure you stay compliant and, most importantly, confident.
So, if you have any questions at all, even a small one, or you just want to talk through what this all means for your properties, please don't wait. Pick up the phone and call the team today on 01924609811, or you can find them online. They are ready and waiting to help. The rental landscape is absolutely changing. There's no question about it. But with the right partner, you can be more than just prepared. The only question left is, are you ready to navigate these changes with confidence?